The Portuguese may have fled to Goa in 1740, but a slice of their legacy survives in the tiny Korlai village on the Konkan coast 135 kilometers from Mumbai, in a form of a language which dates back to the 1500s, Creole Portuguese or Christi. A mixture of Portuguese and Marathi, the language continues to be the mother tongue of the Christian farmer community in Upper Korlai, a village of 700 families. The Portuguese invaders arrived on the Konkan coast in 1505 and captured the Revdanda and Chaul forts by 1523. There were many conversions to Christianity, and the Portuguese language gradually replaced Marathi in certain coastal areas. Between 1505 and 1594, the Portuguese army fought several wars with the local rulers and finally established their supremacy in 1594. Standing prominently to the side of the village is the 16th century Korlai fort. One of the interesting structures inside the Korlai fort is the St. Matthew's Church, built by the Portuguese around 1630 for their army. Standing at the chancel, you are taken back into time. The altar has large windows on both sides, taking your view to the open sea. Apparently, the men laid their guard down and left it to the guards and the clergy to keep a lookout while they were kneeling down for their prayers. Today it remains but an abandoned idling edifice. Giant creepers have taken over this dilapidated church on the fort. In 1740, the Maratha army defeated the Portuguese, forcing them to flee to Goa. 9 families from the lower village then moved to the upper part of Korlai and built a new church about a mile away from the base of the Korlai fort, and it was given the name Nossa Senhora do Monte do Carmel, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, which remains the name of the Korlai church today. It has been 300 years since, and the church continues to play a defining role in the lives of the people of Korlai, not only working towards keeping them united and self-sufficient, but also instilling in them a certain pride in their rich cultural heritage. The church strives to educate the local people and reduce the dropout rate, in this way providing for greater job opportunities. The small Christian communities play an integral part in living their faith in the neighborhoods, especially encouraging the women folk in the village to play a more active role. It seems surprising that the Korlai villagers have been able to keep their language and the culture alive, even though they have been surrounded by the Marathi-speaking Hindus, Muslims and Jews for more than 400 years. The reason being their strong barriers created by the caste system existing at that time. They did not marry outside their caste and did not mix with anyone out of their religion. Secondly, although the Korlai villagers were self-sufficient, they grew most of what they ate and bartered for other necessities. As a consequence, they were isolated. Even post the Portuguese, the Creole Portuguese speakers continued living the same peasant life they had lived before the Portuguese left. Till today, this lifestyle is generally maintained. It provides them with food and a constant source of income. But the influence of Marathi and the Indian culture is steadily growing ever stronger in Korlai. Education, whose medium is Marathi, is gradually gaining importance. Marathi has also become the official language of the church in this rural region. As a consequence, all ceremonies, official and unofficial, are held in Marathi.
When the Portuguese came, they stayed here, and therefore this is a unique place where that language is still kept up. It is not pure Portuguese, but also be it in Marathi. All the liturgical services we have in Marathi, there is a group, we call that Papia group. So they sing old hymns of Portuguese at that time, and still they are keeping up. In fact, every funeral they have to sing that. Even in the marriage, when bride and bridegroom, they promise each other, they sing one hymn, which is a blessing for this couple.
Actually, here children, even we tell them not to speak Portuguese, but they tend to speak Portuguese even with their friends. I mean, Catholics especially.
Higher education at Korlai poses a serious challenge due to the lack of organized transport, the nearest colleges being between 7 to 24 kilometers away at Revdanda and Alibag. This has not dampened the spirits of most of the new generation as they begin their journey at the first rays of dawn.
They have their college, I think, at 7:30. But then we find them standing here at this bus stop almost for 2 hours. They go there at 6 o'clock. They remain up to 8, 8:30. They are there at the stop.
The traveling becomes the problem, but they like to learn and they want to be educated so that they can stand on their feet.
Most feasts and festivals in Korlai are a cause for huge celebration, where the entire village is adorned by an air of festivity. The festive spirit is not isolated to any one particular religion, but celebrated by the village as a whole. Certain Portuguese rituals are still performed in the village. The community annually celebrates the days marking the anniversaries of Saint Anthony and Saint Roch. People believe that years ago Saint Roch saved Korlai from the plague, and his anniversary on the 13th of June is celebrated every year with much festivity. The villagers mark the anniversary with a procession, and a feast is laid out in the church courtyard. A traditional gun salute is offered to the procession as Saint Roch is carried throughout the village. Over time, the gun salutes have been replaced by firecrackers, but the enthusiasm of the villagers remain the same.
Whenever there is a feast, you can see there is a festive mood in this village, and especially when the Christmas time. Those who are working in Bombay also come. Here I found that people are very united. Any celebration or any problems and difficulty that they face, they try to come up together. On St. John the Baptist, they normally go either to the well or to the seashore and they swim there. Even the smallest child will go.
तिरमेर प्लेग रोग दिवी जालते आणि तू जेत कसं मुरे पटपट सगळी माणसं मारायला लागली म्हणून सर्व बाया लोकांनी गावातली नवस जे आणि नवस पाहू पण आणि तू प्लेग रोग नाहीसा शिको तिथपासून न जेत रॉक्स साजरा राहायचे पुढचे जाऊ तेरा काढतो आम्ही गावामध्ये फिरवतो संत रॉकला आणि त्याच्यामध्ये भाकीत केलं जातं की आमचं आहे जे रोग राहील ते नायनाट कर आणि तिथपासून तो नायनाट झाला तर अजूनपर्यंत प्लेगचे रोग नाहीच गावामध्ये कुठेच.
An erratic electric supply only serves to further the quaintness of this little seaside village. In spite of all these difficulties, the people live a fulfilling, simplistic life, enjoying a unity and a oneness seldom observed on the mainland. Increasing contact with the mainland and budding tourism along the Korlai coast has hastened the linguistic shift to Marathi, and it is only a matter of time before, not unlike the fourth, Christi language is just a long-lost memory of the ghost of Portugal in Maharashtra.